How are you and where are you?
I'm fine. I'm in my home. This is the office slash guest room, but now it's really just the office because no one is welcome here. Uh, so takeaway slash guest room. It's fully an office for the foreseeable,
Uh,
and yeah, I'm fine. I'm enjoying the quarantine.
you were one of the first class of students at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater in New York. Do I have that correct?
That is absolutely correct. Yes, the story is that I saw the UCB perform a bit at the Luna Lounge Comedy Club downtown, and then after their bit, they talked about the fact that they did Ass Cat, and I went to see an Ass Cat that following Sunday, and after that Ass Cat, Matt Walsh said we're teaching a one-day workshop if you want to, and I ran to the lobby to sign the sign-up sheet, and so I was in the first one-day workshop that was ever taught in New York by the UCB. And then I was in the first class, which was the first four classes were taught by Walsh and the second four were taught by Amy Poehler. And then at that point, they started assembling teams and I got on the first house team. And so, yes, I was an early adopter of the UCB.
That is incredible to be there at that seminal moment in comedy history, really, when you think about what the theater spawned all these decades later. And sadly, I'm sure you saw the news, last month they announced they're shuttering their main stage and the training center, which launched so many careers due to
Yeah.
the economic pressures of the pandemic. But clearly, this was an important training ground for you.
Yeah, I would say very much so. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think it was because the UCB theater was becoming kind of like a fashionable place to find people that Mad TV came looking for people there. And I was just kind of well positioned at that time to be one of the people that they found. And just sort of being in the mix there helped me get the bits on Conan that I used to do back in the 90s. So it was hugely helpful. But I'll say this about them losing their space in New York. For me, like I was doing shows with them when they were at this rental space on the fourth floor of just a random building in Chelsea. And then they got their theater on 22nd Street, which has always been the UCB theater to me. But then they lost that for some code violation. And then there was a period of time where they were just like doing shows wherever they could. And then they got that space under Gristides on 26th Street, which I personally never liked. I never felt at home there, and I never even set foot inside this Hell's Kitchen space. So for me, I feel like UCB is not about a room, like it's never been. And so they will continue to do shows and teach classes whenever it is that people can go out and experience things again.
Right.
They'll be there, and it won't matter that they don't like hold the lease to a large fancy space. I don't think.
The 26th and 8th location under Gristides, that's the one that I started going to. I missed the earlier incarnations, and that one to me, yeah, when they closed that one, I thought the soul is gone. That's it. But for you, it was even earlier than that.
I know. That place, I only performed there probably fewer than a dozen times, and I never got past the pole in the middle of the room.
The obstructed view seats, like Fenway Park. Yeah.
I was like, how is this? Why do people love and have an attachment to this room with a giant pole in the middle of it?
That was the charm for a lot of people. And so you took to improv instantly?
The first time I ever did improv, I was in the 8th grade, and our drama teacher, we had a drama teacher for 1 year who happened to study short form comedy improv in New York because I was living in New Jersey. And I felt like I took to it right away. Like it was short form game improv. And I immediately felt like I get what this is, and I get how to do this, and it's fun. And I was eager to return to it for a long time, and got to do some in college. And then as soon as I graduated college, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I don't know to what extent I learned how to do short form comedy improv, and then learning how to do the long form UCB style was a major shift in thinking. That took a long time to feel like I was good at that. But I always felt comfortable on a stage making stuff up,
And then making characters, which has become your stock in trade. Do you remember the first character of the thousands that you've probably originated since then? Do you remember what the very first one was?
That's a tough one because, I mean, for me, I guess it always started with a voice. And the first voice that I really had fun doing was my childhood best friend's mom. that she used to have a very, very thick New York accent, and she would talk to us about, well, this was a bit I used to do. We would play Star Wars figures, and she would sort of try to join in and say, well, what does Boba Fett say? And does he go, and do these guys like each other? And they all go over to this guy's house. And it's like, no, that's not how you play Star Wars.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Now I can't stop thinking about Star Wars in that New York accent.
Obi-Wan, that's a name I've not heard in a long, long time.
IsoLate Night with Scott Rogowsky, live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern.